Hello, it's Christy with greenlivingoffgrid.com. Today we're going to look at the best seed starter trays that you can get to start your seeds for your garden or your hydroponics grow system.
The three starter trays that we're going to be looking at today. First, we're going to look at the Growfriend seed starter kit. This one comes with a heat mat as well as a number of different tools and garden stakes, and of course a timer for the lights that are attached to the BioDome. Then we're going to look at this Park Seed BioDome starter tray, and we'll be also looking at the different types of grow media that you can put in these starter kits. We have the Castle Greens and the Jolyn Rockwell cubes, as well as the Rapid Rooter grow plugs. Most of the hydroponic Rockwell cubes come in sheets like this that can be cut apart to form these little cubes. And they can all fit down both in these little grow starter trays, but also with the Park Seed 40 cell BioDome tray unit. It comes with this kind of styrofoam holes that you can put your grow plugs in. And Park Seed has its own version of the bio sponges, but I have found that Rapid Rooter as well as the 1-inch Rockwell cubes will fit in the 40 cell unit, but they do have different size cells. And the ones that Park Seed sells, they are all biodegradable, so they can go into the garden, whereas your hydroponics need to be put directly in a hydroponic system. And so we'll be looking at this Park Seed BioDome. And then lastly, we will be looking at the Verdenu seed starter trays. There is a 10-piece set, so you can start quite a few little seeds with these little trays that fit inside the bottom tray, and they provide a place for water to drain down into the tray, and then you have little BioDome that goes on top, and also all of these little garden tools and seed planting discs, as well as these garden stakes, come with the Verdenu 10-piece set. So we're going to try out all these trays, these 3 different trays. They can be all purchased through Amazon. If you go to our Amazon store link at greenlivingoffgrid.com, you can get easy access links to each of these products on Amazon.
The first thing we're going to look at are different kinds of grow media. This is a hydroponic Rockwell grow cube. This is the Castle Greens. It's comparable to the Gordon Rockwell cube in sizing. Also, I'm going to be growing with the Jolyn. It's a little bit smaller, but it's perfect for those small little 2-inch net pots with a wide lip. I like to use the Jolyn for these little 2-inch net pots, and because the Gordon and the Castle Greens are a little bit larger, they do well with the 3-inch wide lip net pots. So it all depends on what you want to do, what you want to grow in, as to what kind of media you want. This is a little peanut butter jar that I put some hydroponic nutrients in, and you can see I have a lettuce growing in the 2-inch Rockwell cube with the Jolyn. Does really well. And actually, the Castle Greens do well in these little 2 inches as well. But you can see in sizing, the Jolyn, if you're going to grow those or use that grow media, I prefer the smaller ones because most of the larger size ones just fit better. And they can be used in both net pots. So I actually, my preference is Castle Greens because I grow an awful lot in the 3-inch net pots. You can see here my grow trays that I have. These are all the 3-inch net pots in these 10-gallon grow trays. And so that's why I do an awful lot with Castle Greens or Gordon because they're larger, the Rockwell cubes. And of course, when I'm starting them, sometimes I'll put them into this little peanut butter jar to help them get up to size before I put them into their grow trays. But today we're going to just be starting seeds, and that's the hydroponic Rockwell cubes. They typically come in sheets like this. This is the castle greens, and you just cut them out into little cubes. And then this one here is a rapid rooter, and it comes in a bag. And I love the rapid rooters because they can go directly into your garden. They're fully biodegradable. So we're going to start seeds in all of these different grow medias and even soil. We're going to be using all of these 3 different grow trays. We're going to talk about the benefits of each one. This one, as you can see, it has its own lighting system. This is the Growfriend seed starter tray, and I love this for an all-in-one system for starting seeds. If you don't have a system set up with heat mats and your own lighting, this is a perfect grow tray to get. And you can see in my video of my seed starts, I used the hydroponic cubes and I started seeds in this. You can see in my video they grew really well in this unit. So the heat mat, and I used the Jumpstart thermostat in order to control this heat mat so it wouldn't get too hot for my plants. But for an all-in-one system, I really like the fact this has its own heat mat and its own lighting. As you can see here, it does really well for just starting your seeds. The one drawback to this unit is that when your plants get a little bit taller, let's say you need to wait another month before you put them into your garden or hydroponic system, it can be hard to let them grow very long because they do get caught at the top of this BioDome. And then, of course, since your lighting is tied to that, if you take the BioDome off, as it does come apart, but if you remove the BioDome, you've lost your lighting. So that's the only drawback to this all-in-one system. It doesn't come with a thermostat for the heat mat, so you'll have to supply that. And if your plants get a little too tall before it can go in the garden or in your hydroponic system, you are limited by the height of this BioDome. But it really is a standard size BioDome. You can see this one is the Verdenu seed start tray, and it's comparable in size. The Verdenu is just about the same height as the Growfriend's BioDome. So it too has a limit of how tall your plants can get in it, but I do like the versatility of this with my system because I have my own heat mats and lighting. I can just, set this up and it will sprout the seed just fine. So we're going to try all our different grow medias in this Verdenu tray. Now the other one that I really like, especially when I am starting seeds for my garden, I love the BioDome seed starter tray. And this is the little bit larger. They have a smaller 60 cell. This is a 40 cell unit. I've grown in all of those cells, and they do have their specific type of grow sponge like this that is biodegradable. If you buy the Park Seed grow sponges, they fit perfectly. But I also like this 40 cell unit because it is versatile with the rapid rooter grow sponges as well. And so I use this quite a bit for starting my garden. For the summer, I'll start this like a couple months before they need to go out. And what is this seed starter tray has that all the other ones do not is the ability to take this tray and fill the water up in the bottom of this tray to float over the top of your water reserve. The advantage of that is that it allows a little bit more time for the roots to grow down through your grow media, whether you're growing with a 1-inch Rockwell cube, which also fits in this 40 cell unit. So you could do the rapid rooter grow plugs, or you can do the regular Rockwell cubes in the 40 cell that will still allow for the roots to go down through in order for the plant to get a little bit larger before you put it into your garden or your hydroponic grow system. So I love the fact that you have a lot of room for those roots to grow in this system. And just like the Verdenu trays, where you can just remove the BioDome, when it gets a little bit larger, one thing about this tray, it's larger than all the other trays. It's a little bit taller, so it allows your plants to grow up a little bit higher before you have to remove the BioDome. And when you remove the BioDome, if you have your own lighting or your heat mat system to keep your plants growing, it's very versatile. It can continue to grow those plants. So I start all of my garden plants in this tray system, the Park Seed BioDome tray system. I prefer the 40 cell because it works with all of my grow media, whether I'm doing the hydroponic Rockwell cubes or I'm doing the rapid rooters or I'm growing with Park Seed's own bio sponge system cells. It works super well. And that way I can get my plants a good size before I put them out in the garden. And you can see in my video of this Park Seed BioDome system, I was able to grow quite a few green bean plants, which if you know anything about green beans, they do not like transplanting. But I transplanted those cells once the roots went down through the Castle Greens Rockwell cubes. Then I was able to plant them directly into a little hydroponic cup setup like this. And then eventually I put it into my aquaponics fish and plant system when it was warm enough in the summer for them to grow in my greenhouse. So I love this unit. I use it quite a bit for my outdoor gardens and my greenhouse starts, and because it does allow for more growth with the plants, with both the biodome being taller than the rest and the ability to just remove that when you need to, keep them growing a little bit longer with the water reserve, the tray floating above that water reserve, so your roots are able to grow quite long in this system. So these are the 3 seed start trays that I recommend that you use for your garden and your hydroponics seed sprouts. And let's go ahead and take a look at the results of my 4 different types of grow media. I had soil in the first cell here. I had the
Rapid rooter.
then I had Castle Greens, and then the Jolene hydroponic Rockwell cubes. So let's take a look and see the results of that.
I've got a little heat mat, and we're going to be using the Jump Start thermostat in order to maintain the temperature. I have the temperature probe here in this soil. Well, here the seeds have sprouted. Take a look at these. The soil sprouted nicely on the right side, and then here next to them, rapid rooters. Bio sponges, you can put them right in your garden. And then to the left side, those are the hydroponic Rockwell cubes. And you can see the Castle Greens. And then to the far left are the Jolene Rockwell cubes. You'll see the roots have come down on through the Rockwell cube. This guy's a little bit bigger here in the back. So let's see. Okay, you can see the roots are starting to come down through that as well. And these are great. I mean, these can be planted in a regular garden as well as they can grow in a hydroponic setup as well with biodegradable sponges. But the Rockwell cubes are best left for hydroponics, or if you put them in the garden, just make sure you take them out because they don't decompose. So the Rockwell cubes will, if you plant them in the garden, just need to be removed when you're done harvesting your plants. There's the Jolene. Nice set of roots that came down through on that one. Overall, this seed planter unit worked great. And the heat mat with our little thermometer temperature probe here in the soil kept everything at perfect temperature for germination. Well, this concludes my review of these 3 different types of grow tray starter kits, the Growfriend, the Park Seed BioDome, and the Verdenu 10-piece garden tray set. You don't forget to check out our Amazon store link at greenlivingoffgrid.com, as well as our free PDF guide that you can download if you enter your email address. At greenlivingoffgrid.com, it'll teach you how to get started with hydroponics. So check us out at greenlivingoffgrid.com.